Mr. Adjovi, there are two words here. We can't really begin to unpick what arbitrarily means until we're clear on what detained means. Julian Assange presented himself at the Ecuadorian embassy of his own volition and could walk out of the door at any time. How is he being detained?
In the view of the working group, as it has been explained in the opinion, there is a continuity between the time he was arrested in 2010 and spent 10 days in detention and the time he was under bail under house arrest. That continuity led to when he is in the embassy. And if he leaves the embassy, he will continue in the deprivation of liberty. So that's why we consider that his stay in the embassy is still a detention time.
So the deprivation of liberty as represented by what you describe as house arrest is a fairly normal implementation of British bail conditions. Are you suggesting that everybody on bail in Britain who is required to remain at a certain address or at least to live at a certain address and present themselves to a police station is somehow under house arrest?
In our view, in this case, yes, it's
But what is different between this case and every other case of bail?
We were not seized of every other bail case. We were seized of Assange case. And in this case, we consider that it was a detention period. And it's a constant jurisprudence for the working group that if you are under house arrest, it's a time of detention.
Yes, but
and we can
what you
assess
describe
it and
as
find
house
out
arrest,
whether it's
bail conditions. What you describe as house arrest was bail conditions. Are you hearing me? Yes, loud and clear. How is house arrest bail? How is bail house arrest?
That's what we have in the fact presented to us in the adversary process, where the government was also part, and that's what we concluded.
And the reason why he would face arrest and a return to the conditions of his bail if he were to leave the Ecuadorian embassy is that Swedish prosecutors are keen to talk to him about an allegation of rape that has been brought against him. So how does that play into your judgment, the fact that he would be somehow deprived of his liberty because authorities want to talk to him about a very real allegation of rape?
How does it play in your understanding? Does they have to talk to him only when they arrest him?
Well, they can't arrest him until he leaves the embassy.
Over 5 years of investigation, why over 5 years of investigation they have not been able to come to a conclusion as to whether he should be charged or not?
Well, because he won't go to Sweden, and when they tried to extradite him, he sought asylum at the Ecuadorian embassy, which is normally an action undertaken to avoid persecution, not prosecution.
What you might not want to understand here is that the lack of due diligence in the work of the prosecution, that's what the working group is criticizing.
Right, so it's a question of punctuality then, rather than legal principle that you're objecting to. They should have moved quicker.
Yes, it's a matter of timing, and the working group has made it very clear in the opinion we issue that 5 years of preliminary investigation without coming to a final conclusion whether you charge the individual or not to move to a trial is too long.
But how can they come to a final conclusion if they can't interview the only suspect?
Is the only way of interviewing the only suspect is to arrest him and take him to your country. Can he not be interviewed anywhere else, in your view?
Well, he has, of course, offered to be interviewed here by Swedish authorities, but when they acquiesced to that suggestion, he changed his mind. Are you not aware of that?
I'm not going to discuss those details because you and I, we are not part of the process. The fact we had before us showed that the Swedish prosecutor did not want to interview him in the embassy. And even the Swedish judge criticized the Swedish prosecutor for the same.
Okay.